Hey Leo, welcome to my channel. This is your February 2023 love reading. So let's check in and see what February is bringing in for you guys in love, in relationships, and partnerships, and blah, blah, blah. All right, what do we have for Leo? What do we have for Leo? Leo, these cards are like the devil to shovel. I'm just going to let you know. Okay, so just bear with me and see if we can get one to flip, because I really like flippers. I really like the flippers. I really do. All right, let's see. Let's give it a couple more tries, Leo. And if we can't get one to pop across the room, we'll just go ahead and just, well, that was a lot. So we're going to take those, okay? All right, what do we have here? We got Death, Leo. We have the Star. And we have Justice. So that's some pretty heavy energy there. So with Justice, Leo, as you know, this is all about what is right, what is fair, you know, what is coming towards you in a way that is deserving, you know, so to speak. Something's balancing out here in your love life. And you have the Star. So this is healing, this is happiness, this is fulfillment, and you also have Death here. So Leo, you got a change coming in here that is going to bring some balance, some fairness, some healing in your life. So for some of you, Leo, you could be in a relationship right now where it is time for some type of change. I feel like you may have been going through some ups and downs, you know, with someone about something, and now you just want some peace, some healing, some tranquility to kind of come in for you in the month of February, or for every month to come for that matter. So let's just see what's been unfair to you in the past, Leo, and what is coming in that's going to make this right. Let's see. Why is there a change and transition here coming in for you? So we got cloudy judgment. We got confusion. And let's see what else we can get for you. We got emotional storm. And we have influence. All right, so guys, here's what we're looking at here. So I feel like your intuition, you know, has been spending some time with you, Leo. I feel like there has been some things that's been clouding your judgment about someone or about something when it comes to love that is trying to balance, you know, itself out. So you may have been unclear about a person or a situation, and it's been sending your emotions on a roller coaster. And well, whoever this is, I feel like there's a strong attachment to this person. You know, Leo, I feel like for some of you, you need something to change, and I feel like you need it to change now. I feel like for some of you, you've been in a relationship or partnership where there has been a lot of turmoil, maybe some third-party energy going on there, and although you want this to work because you truly love someone here, I feel like something in your intuition is warning you, you know, of something, or something's trying to get your attention. For whoever this is for, I feel like you know in your heart of hearts, and I'm just going to say this, that this relationship, you know, may not be as healthy, you know, as it should. I feel like it's unstable. I feel like there's a strong attachment to it for some strange reason. And I feel like your view or someone's view, and switch the roles, you know, of the way that this should be or the way that you want it to be, Leo, is just distorted because you have a cloudy judgment here. And I feel like in your heart of hearts, you know that there is something that needs to change. There's something that maybe needs to end. And if it's not the relationship itself, maybe the dynamics of the relationship needs to change because you have justice here. So justice is here because he or she, I don't know if this is a male or female on this card, to be honest with you. You really can never tell on these cards. Weird artwork. Justice is here to help you. And I feel like the star is here to get your attention. It's trying to guide you to a place where things are more stable. Like I feel like right now you're in your head. Like, God, I want this to work, but it's not working. And the influence that is or the energy that is wreaking on your heart or your nervous system or just your life as a whole, it's just, I don't know, this relationship is just affecting you. I mean, these cards, you got confusion and you have emotional storm. Like I feel like the universe is trying to point something out to you, but it's almost like you see it but you don't want to accept it, or you don't want to make the necessary change that is needed, even if it's just taking a break, maybe just being alone for a while, or making some changes within, like healing yourself before you try to heal this relationship because you're confused about it. It's not like this is coming in with, cards of love and light and, beauty. I mean, the universe is really trying to balance something out here. It's really trying to end something with this death card here so that something new can come in. Because even though death comes in to kind of put an end, to something or someone, possibly, there's always something new to start. Because, I mean, you have the star here. So that's a healing energy. I feel like you've been pouring yourself into someone and it's honestly just draining you. That's just the cards that are here. Maybe there's influences around you. Maybe you are, like I said, I feel like this is vaguely familiar. Maybe there are influences around you that's preventing you from ending this relationship, even though maybe like your peers, or your family or your friends, are going to look at you, in some type of way. Or maybe you're worried about, what people are going to think. And because you're worried about what others may possibly think, and this may not be for all of you, but this is definitely for somebody out there. But, because you're thinking about what others may think or how others may feel or look at, your situation, it's clouding your judgment. It's almost like a resistance here. Like for some of you, it's just like, you may be refusing to be honest with yourself, about this partnership. And because you're putting up a fight, I feel like energetically, you're gonna, I don't know, I feel like you're gonna cause a tower unless you, kind of allow the necessary change to come in. Like if you don't let this death card, come in and, and do its work, to give you this change and transition that it's trying to do for you, you're going to continue, on these ups and downs and on this emotional roller coaster that you're in. Like for some of you, you are hanging on to someone for dear life. For dear life. You are. And I don't know, like it's like it's this shit is messed up and you can't even see straight, or make a sound decision because you're so wrapped up, in this person. Let me or this person. It's a person. Let's see what else is here, guys. I want to get a couple more from this deck. Let's see. Divine masculine. So, I think this is you, Leo. I think this is you. You're really trying to control this. You're trying to manipulate the outcome. opposed to just letting things come in as they should, like agreeing to let go just a little bit. You just can't force a relationship, and if this is someone trying to force you into something, it's just not healthy. It's not healthy at all. But with this divine masculine energy here, I mean, I almost feel like someone trying to strong arm a relationship. That's just the feeling that I'm getting from here. I just feel like it's just like, oh, clarity. Oh my God, clarity. I For some of you, you see this for what it is, but you are resisting this change. I promise you, you're going to send a tower your way if you don't cut this out. Or if this is someone, doing this to you, you're just going to break down, because I feel like you know the truth. And even though you have the best intentions in mind, because I feel like, there is love here, but I feel like there is something that you're just not seeing. With the star here, I mean, it can't shine any brighter, than this. You could be hoping and wishing that this relationship turns around, but and maybe it will, but right now I don't even think you agree with that. I think you're confused, like, is this going to work, is this not going to work? Am I handling this the right way? Am I not? But I do feel with clarity here, like in this cloudy judgment, I feel like there's an energy here for you to be honest with yourself and honest about the situation that you're in. So you have karma, right? So there is something, like I said, that's trying to come in and make this work for you. I feel like what is happening because you have justice here. Something is trying to come in and assist you with this matter, but I think that you need to release the grip a little bit, because there are consequences with karma here. There are consequences for the actions that you take. Not saying that you're doing anything necessarily wrong by trying to strong arm this relationship into existence, or because I do feel like because you have emotional storm, there's been some type of hurt here and pain here. With justice here, that tells me that something is off keter. It's not balanced, something's not fair, or something is trying to come in to make it fair, because you got karma and you have justice here. So the universe is trying to set the scales right, but I feel like you're just not allowing it to. It's just like, this is going to work whether the universe wants us to work at all, because I refuse to give up. And if this isn't you, again, this is somebody else who may have this energy like, hey, I'm not going to let Leo go because I don't want to. Even though there's been hurt, there's been pain, there's been disappointments, even though, we don't get along, I don't care, yeah. I just want this to be. So we got foundations here. So for some of you, you could live with this person, you could be, like I said, really attached to this person. So there may be something that you could have a family together, you could have a home together, you could have built a life together, but there's something that is definitely holding you together. And you have soulmates here. So, and then we also have releasing. So Leo, I honestly want to talk to you about this, like seriously. So what I feel here, and when I'm connecting, with these cards right now, like I feel like I could feel the attachment here for sure. And now that soulmate, has come out, that kind of clarified that to me. I do feel a strong hold here of some kind. That's why I said I feel like the universe is trying to come in and manipulate this a little bit for you, but I feel like there is a resistance, there's an attachment, there is something that you're holding on to, that you're refusing to release, because you got releasing here. Like I said, you just don't want to let go. You don't want to move on. You don't want to walk away, because you're deeply in love with this person. And I tell you, like, it's either one or two things, Leo. Either this person is meant to be with you, or there's a lesson for you to learn here, because you got karma, you got justice here, and you got soulmate here. When you get soulmates that come around, someone that you are closely connected to, someone that you really love a lot, that you can't seem to let go or release, I expect for some type of confusion to come along with that, some type of uncertainty, because these type of energies usually come with either blessings or lessons. And this may have come with both, but I feel like this is leaning right now in this dynamic right now where you guys are right now into the lesson category. There is something here that that is trying to be shown to you, you know, that the universe is trying to make something clear, and it's probably for you to, you know, be maybe more, you know, dependent on yourself and not this relationship. It's okay to be in love and to be deeply connected, you know, with somebody and to feel secure, you know, in the arms of this person. But, you know, if it's not working, maybe it's just time to let it go. Stop forcing it so much, and see, you know, where, see where it takes you. Okay. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck of here. That's not the deck I had. This is the one over here. I'm just curious. So you got possibilities. So you don't want to take the risk, you know. You don't want to know any of the possibilities, I feel, Leo, other than this working out. And that's okay. And again, if this isn't you, this is somebody else. You're not really looking at the possibility, honestly, of it working. I think you're more focused on the possibility of it not working out, and that is your focus, which is, again, if you don't allow this to change and transform, for this to end so that it can begin again, so that you can learn the lesson that the universe is trying to teach you, so you can go and heal. Okay. And so things are balanced out, like you sticking to this person, you know, like glue, you know, knowing that, you know, there is an energy here where there could have been some dishonesty, there could have been, you know, some third party energy, whatever, you know, that, you know, you've experienced with this person. I do feel like you gotta release this, you know, stop trying to make it work. Don't be afraid to let it go, to see if it comes back again. Because if you give yourself time to heal, then I feel like, you know, things would probably go in your favor, because it is a soulmate here. You don't have to, you know, it's not always about learning a lesson and walking away and moving on, you know, to someone else and look at that past relationship as something that you won't repeat again. Sometimes soulmates got to go through it. And you may, like I said, you know, this may come back again. So it says, I wish to be like you. So I do feel like for some of you, there could have been a situation where if there was a third party energy, you may have, you know, been mimicking this person, you know, so to speak, like this person cheated on you, so, you know, I'm going to go cheat on them, you know. One of you may be stronger than the other, you know, when, you know, you guys get into conflict, or there's an argument, or if there's a separation, you know, the other person may walk off like, oh, well, whatever, you know, I'm not bothered by this. And some of you may feel like, I wish I could be like that person. This person, you know, whenever this relationship ends, or whatever, we get into a fight, you know, this person may act like they don't care, or maybe this is you. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. The passion I feel is overwhelming. I don't know how to handle this. Overwhelming for sure, because, you know, someone has a strong attraction here. Whether it's you or them, there is definitely something that is overwhelming, particularly the thought of not being with this person, or this person not being with you, Leo. It says, no one understands me but you. That's a lie. You know, this person may understand you, but they're not the only person in the world that understands you. That's just in your mind. You know, there are plenty of people that can love you and understand you and be the perfect person for you, other than just this very one person. There's soulmates every freaking where. You know, there's people to love every freaking where. This is just the way you feel, that, you know, you just feel comfortable with this person. This person, you know, like I said, you could live with this person. You could have been with this person for a long time. And so you may feel like nobody understands you, you know, but them. But if they understood you so well, they wouldn't be hurting you, or vice versa. Okay? Just saying. That's what I get for being mean. I want to be mean, not for real, but hold on a second. Let me get control of this. You just feel that way. You know, there's plenty of people that understand you. Hell, I understand what you're going through. You know, so I'm not even dating you, Leo, and I understand, you know, you. So this person isn't the only person in the world. You can live without this person. I am the man. No, this person, you may feel like this is the person for you, and they may very well be, like I said, but there are plenty of fish in the sea. This isn't the only man or the only woman that understands you, right? Nah, I don't think so. You know, It's okay, like I said, to let it go. On the bottom of the deck, it says it hurts so much because you're attracted to this person. That's what hurts when you guys are fighting. That's why it hurts when you're together. That's why it hurts when you're separated. But you have to allow the universe to come in here and help you. Like, pay attention. Pay attention. Letting go. Letting go. Exactly. Pay attention. Pay attention. Sometimes space is good because you get to know and remember who you are. And then that person gets to know and remember sometimes even what they lost. Leo, you could have been with somebody who got with somebody else and, may have had like a nice old, temporary good time. And over time, this person, probably realized that the grass wasn't greener, on the other side. But trying to strong arm and bring this relationship together when clearly there are things that is happening that is, kind of pushing you guys apart is just going to stress you out. That's all it's going to do. You're going to get tired and worn down from this. And all that fighting and pushing for nothing. What in the fuck? Y'all, listen. You got the same card twice. Clouded Judgment. I'm not even making this up. And you have Clouded Judgment. That's Cloudy Judgment. So clearly you're not seeing what is trying to be shown to you. And you keep it up, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. It's the universe is going to come in and it's going to force you. So when somebody's going to break down, my life is a mess right now. Yeah, I bet it is a mess right now because this is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's see what else we have for you. I actually picked up the wrong deck. I wasn't even supposed to pick that one up. What we got? Bleeding heart. This person's hurt you before, Leo. They've hurt you before. And you're stressed right now, aren't you? You're stressed right now. And you're doing everything in your little power to try to make this relationship work opposed to letting it go. You got dirty laundry. Like I said, yes. There could have been some things. Like I said, I feel like both of you, you and your connection, kind of, both have some dirty laundry. I feel like like I said, you're copying each other, that person may have cheated, so you wouldn't cheated, so I feel like both of you, have hurt each other and, and now you're trying to bring this thing back together again, but yeah, artificial, but it's not real. It's not real. The reason why this is fake, why it's feeling, artificial is because you're forcing it. This isn't a connection coming back where both people are really longing to come back to each other. This is you forcing it. This is someone forcing it. That's no fun. That is not any fun. Let's see what else we have here for you guys. All right. Let me hurry up. All right. So you got these little puzzle pieces here. So I feel like you're really trying to figure this out. How to make it work, how to make it stay, how to prevent it, from falling apart. You're trying to do so much with so little right now. So let's see. Let's see. All right. Get clarity. Like, really? Clarity here. You got clarity here, Leo. You got clarity twice. You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being honest about this connection. About this connection. You're not being honest about it. Oh, change is coming. Yeah, that I know. And like I said to you, if you don't stop playing, death is here to make this change. Change is coming because the universe is here. These are major arcana. So like, these aren't things that, just change when a person changes their minds. I always say that the minor arcana cards, to me, are changeable. I mean, everything is changeable, but I feel like the energy with the minor arcanas is just like, hey, if someone said, you get the 8 of Wands and and someone says, oh, there's messages coming in, and then that person never calls, and that's because the person simply changed their mind, because we can do that. We have the power to change our minds. And, if the cards will say, communication's coming and communication never arrives, maybe the person just changed their mind, right? The energy is not as, influential as, say, death, or the star or justice. Like, these cards to me have more power. You know, so when death is coming in and it's saying, hey, Leo, I'm about to come in and transform or change some things, you know, in your life, particularly if you are working with the universe and you're connected, you know, to the grid, and you're looking for, you know, God or the cosmos, whatever you believe in, to help you along on this journey here, then know that when death comes, it's going to come in and it's going to change something. So change is coming. So whether you like it or not, but if you go with the flow, it'll probably come a little bit easier than next month's reading. There'll be a whole tower coming in here because, you know, you done found out something, or this person done stepped off again, or you get into a huge fight and things blow up and you just can't, you know, it's just a freaking mess. So, I'm going off on a tangent. Let me calm down. But yes, so let's see what else we have for you, right? You need to be honest with yourself. You know, it has spent some time together. So for some of you, you could be spending some time together. You know, you could be trying to make it work. You could be trying to, you know, get to know each other again. Oh, hell yeah. There we go. Long distance trip. So for some of you, I don't know if you can see this long distance trip. So for some of you, you could be traveling on a trip. Maybe you're planning to get away. Like I said, I do feel like there's an energy here for some of you. You're trying to work on something here. And it's this. You're trying to make this shit work. So you could be planning to go away, you know, on a trip, spend some time together, spend some time alone, maybe cut out some of the influences that are here, you know, family, friends, people in your ear. Oh, girl, you sure this is going to work? Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should. You know, who knows, you know, but you're definitely spending some time. So you got waiting for you. Let's see what else we can get here. Like I said, you know, I do feel like you're waiting to see, you know, if this is going to work, you know. Embrace change. Embrace change. Renewal, right? Renewal. Let's see what we have at the bottom here. You left quite an impression. Leo, you care about this person, right? And you want a fresh start with this renewal here. You want things to change. You've been waiting for this person to come around, and this person's waiting for you to come around and act right, you know, bottom line. And not just act right, be right. You know, to show you love, to show you affection, you know, to be the person that, you know, you need them to be. But if they're not ready, they ain't ready. And you can hang on to this and you can try to manipulate this and make this happen, but I don't think that it's going to, you know, put you in the space of healing and recovery and happiness and things like that. Not forcing it, but I do feel if you allow this change to come in and you allow the universe to kind of set you guys on a path. And I do feel like you need to do that by maybe separating from each other, you know, just a little bit. I'm not here to give advice, but that's just the energy that is here. You know, maybe spending time together, going on a long distance trip will help. That's always a possibility. Maybe it will offer you some type of rest and renewal, and maybe it will fix some things. But I do feel like the energy here was an energy of not really, you know, seeing things clearly, right? Cloudy judgment. So something is blocking what you know is right. You got clarity here again. And, you know, with what I see, I just feel like something is influencing, you know, your decision, you know, when it comes to this relationship. And it's emotionally, you know, disturbing you. And you need to take a break. That's just what I see. Because, again, you got some cloudy judgment here. Follow your intuition because it's all that you have. If you feel like this is just a little bit too hard right now, that maybe you need to give your mind a rest, this person ain't going nowhere. If they're your soulmate, they ain't going nowhere. So you don't have to worry about it. Just allow the universe to come in and help you, Leo. So that's what I have for you for February. Please like and subscribe and share the video. And I will see you guys next month.